Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Friday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in the US, and of course we're heading to sunny California in particular. Of course, heading to UCSB in particular, and of course their non-conference play season starts in early November. Of course, we've got one of our Aussie players over there at the moment. Of course, her name is Olivia Bradley. She joins us right now. Thanks, Olivia, for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, firstly, how excited are you to be returning back to the courts after obviously what happened last year?
Yes, I think I'm getting really close. I'm about 7 months post-op, so really doing almost everything now except for contact, which is really fun. So hopefully, really close.
You were playing fantastic ball before that. I guess how frustrating was it for you to go down with injury throughout that season?
Yeah, super frustrating. I think especially like in your freshman year, it's like it's a big year. It's your introduction to college, like you're trying to learn a lot of things and it's very important. And yeah, it was very frustrating to go down. But I feel like the process of coming back has like taught me so much as well. So I think it's like a rewarding process as well to come back from injury.
How's the preseason been like for the team as we head up to the non-conference play?
Really fun. We have new coaching staff this year, and it's been really fun to learn from them and learn some new things, and get to know them a little bit. So it's been like a really fun, high pace, new kind of environment, which is good.
What have you already learnt from the new coaching staff?
I've learned, I'm focusing on a lot more, guard skill work. Like I'm kind of like a guard slash forward, and they've been, working with me a lot to get back in my guard, like back being a bit more like guardy, which is good. But I've also learned like team wise, just learning like a really fast paced, structure and, really like just a little bit different from last year. So, getting used to that and learning how to run that has been really fun and interesting.
With a whole new coaching staff and that, is what's the expectations on the teams that's been set for this team?
For sure. I think, we have high expectations of ourselves already, but, you know, I think our coaches are expecting us to like step up. Like they're expecting us to kind of, what they're helping us and we have to help them settle in so that we've got like high expectations of each other, which I think is really good. And I think we're really aiming for like really high in the Big West, finishing really high in the Big West this year.
Let's talk a bit about your basketball journey now. Um, where did it all start and why did you choose it?
That's a great question. I think I started playing when I was around 9 or 10. And just because, I started in netball, as most young girls do, and I kind of think I wanted to try something different. My parents were both played basketball when they were younger, and so did my grandparents. So I think it was always bound to happen. But yeah, I made the switch when I was younger, and then completely chose basketball around 12 or 13, and didn't really look back.
Any highlights throughout your basketball journey so far?
I think my highlight would have to be going over to the World Cup in Hungary in 2022. I think that was just an incredible experience. And just to play with some like really high caliber girls who like now I get to know them for the rest of my life and get to like follow them and watch them as well, which is really great. I feel like that's got to be the highlight for me.
I'm glad you mentioned about that 2 years ago. I guess how special was that connection and obviously representing our country over there?
For sure. I think representing Australia was always my like top goal as a kid, and kind of like getting to do that really, really just like it kind of changed my life, honestly. It's such a big thing to be able to say that you represented your country. And I think for my family and for me, like for my family who have put hours and hours into like helping me become the basketballer I am, I think also it was really rewarding for them to really see me get that achievement as well, which was great.
That sort of set up obviously that hopefully that belief of going to college and obviously now landing in Santa Barbara.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that was a big stepping stone. The World Cup is a really good spot for like coaches to come and see you. Yeah, but also to get here, I kind of did a few other things. Like I connected, I mean, like 6 months after I started really connecting with college coaches and putting myself out there, I came over on a tour with ATC Academy and they took me around and I played against a few good teams, which was really good, a really good experience. I think that really like solidified my college position.
Okay, so you just mentioned about the ATC Academy, which obviously they
Mhm.
were over there earlier this or maybe last month. What did that mean to you, and especially to crack into now being in the college system?
I think it was super important, especially like in Australia, like you want to go to college, but it's like hard to really like know exactly what you have to do. Like for me and my family, it was just a super confusing, hard process, especially in year 12, like you're trying to complete year 12 and you have all of these other things going through your mind. I don't know, it just like really the connections that Taylor Jones gave me with colleges and like the expertise she offered me was something that like I just couldn't have done by myself. Like it was just incredible. And I think even like just being able to like talk to a college coach and then talk to Taylor Jones and reflect on like what I've talked to about with a college coach, I think that was super helpful as well. Just having someone to like bounce ideas off of as well.
Now, just going back to your World Cup team from 2 years ago, are you excited to see them? I'm sure most of them are actually currently over there in the US at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you going to be versing against any of them? Have you already checked the schedule to see who you're going to verse?
I am actually. Summer Hansen, she's just transferred from Sacramento State to UC Irvine, which is in the Big West, which I think is really like exciting that I get to play against her now in conference play. So it'll be exciting to see her. I don't think I play against anyone else, from that team specifically. But I do come across Australians, especially like the Big West is a very Australian conference. A lot of people come to this conference, which is good. It's good to like see people, interact with people. I had one of my friends who I went on my ATC Academy tour with, she just committed to Hawaii, so it'd be really nice to play her next year as well.
Tell us what position that you play on the court.
Mhm.
And if you had a dream position, we love to convince the coaches to put you, or if you have already, where would that be, Liv?
I mean, I'm playing like a small forward, like that's what I play, like a 3-4 kind of thing. Dream position. I don't know. If I was, I mean, my dream position would be, I don't know, like a shooting guard, but that's a lot. That's a lot of a big difference. I have to do a little bit more quick on defense, a little bit more shots. That's a big commitment. But like that'd be a cool position to play. I think that's a cool position. Yeah.
You must well give your local team, local basketball association back home a bit of a shout out. And how integral have they been? And you must give us some coaches that has helped you along the way.
For sure. So my home association is Eastern Mavericks Basketball Club, which is in the Adelaide Hills. And they've just been like the key part to my success. Never had so much support by a massive group of people, and I was lucky enough to go through my whole juniors there and play some NBL one there before I came here. And a few coaches that really, started off for me is when I was really young, James Radis, he had me from my early stages, which is very important. And Sean Bell, he was my like under 12 to under 14 coach. And those stages are just so important for development. And I really think they like pushed me as a kid who maybe like, didn't really realize basketball was such a big deal. And they made it a big deal for me, which I really, really appreciated and loved. So those two coaches are probably my biggest impacts, I think.
Is there any similarities between those two and your current coaches there, UCSB?
I think definitely Sean. Sean was very a technical coach. He really loved his X and O's and like really knew what he wanted. And I think that's the same with head coach Renee Jimenez. She's really knows what she wants. She's very direct, and I really love that in a coach. I really like to just like they set goals fast and we can hit those goals. And yeah, I really love that.
Also, your current coach is a female. How important is that to have a female coach, and obviously starting to become more of a female coaching staffs now these days?
Mhm.
How important has that been for you? And obviously, you've had amazing male coaches, but I guess get a different perspective on your playing style.
For sure. I think having more female coaches in the game is really important. Just because there is that connection, that's like a different connection to have and like a bit more of an understanding off the court, I think sometimes. So that really helps, especially in a college setting where, we live and breathe basketball. So our coaches kind of have to understand what it's like for us off the court. And our coaching staff really do. They're mo uh, mostly girls, and then we have one male, and most of them have played college basketball, um, which is great. It's just so good to have these like connections with your coaches and really have like a proper understanding. And I think that really helps like team culture and makes us better.
What does the sport of basketball mean to you now, especially now being over there at Santa Barbara for the last 2 seasons?
Basketball means like the world to me. I think it's something like that I couldn't live without. Personally, I will be involved with basketball probably for the rest of my life in, many different positions, I think. Um, it's just such a perfect way to meet people who, are alike to you and have the same ideas as you, and a great way to like, for me, it's been such a good way to connect with so many people. Like now I have friends from all over the world. Um, and these are friends I'm going to have for life, which is great. And I just think without basketball, I wouldn't have these amazing opportunities and these amazing people in my life.
Talking about amazing people in your life, I'm assuming your parents and your family is an integral part of that. And you
Yes.
mentioned that obviously they play basketball. How important is that for you to have, family that obviously live and breathe the sport?
I mean, it's been integral to my like development as a player. I think without parents who like are understanding and really interested in the sport, it might be kind of hard. My mum is the president of our local association. So she's heavily involved, and my dad just has a really big love for the sport. So it's just the support that I've got from them has like definitely made me who I am. And I just like I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have, made the Australian team. I wouldn't have been able to represent my state without like that support from them. And I'm so grateful, and I will be grateful forever.
What have you learnt from your current teammates on and off the court?
I think I've learned the American like style. Like I think on and off the court, like their playing is different, their personalities are different, and I really love like learning how they go about their day and how they function different to Australians. I think, you know, they're teaching me lots of new things, and I get to teach them lots of new things, which is fun. Yeah, and like it's crazy living with these people all the time. So I'm just like, constantly influenced by them in such great ways, which I love.
Okay, I rarely ask this question, but I'm going to ask this now. What's the one major difference between our game and obviously the college game?
That's a good question. I think the biggest difference is intensity. Like the intensity is a complete different level. And not even just even the pace, it's more like the commitment to the game is different. These people come out like these girls are on scholarship, and this is like our job. I guess it's kind of comparable to pro basketball in a way, like that we have hours, we have to set goals, we have to hit goals. And there's a lot of pressure. I feel like there's more pressure in college basketball maybe than basketball at home as well, which I love. I think that that's a good experience to have, and something that, if anyone wants to, they definitely should.
Do you have any future ambitions in the sport of basketball in obviously throughout your college time over there and obviously post that?
For sure, for sure. Um, I think me personally, I really would love to play basketball afterwards in like Europe and be able to play in some really great spots. I would love to play in the WNBL. I feel like that's a great goal for all Australian girls to have. And over here in college, I really would love to go to the NCAA tournament. So I really like winning championships. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what we're all here to do. Yeah, and I think, that's something that can definitely be achieved. Sorry, every year this conference is super competitive, but it's also quite even, which is great. So it's anyone's game, and I love that.
Okay, I'm going to ask this. Is there one team in your conference that is a little bit more sweeter than the others to beat?
Oh, oh, a little bit more sweeter. Cal Poly is our rival. That's our rival game. They're a couple hours north of us up the coast. And it's our blue green rivalry, which is really cool. I really love having a rivalry team. I think that just adds a little bit more energy and a little bit more like passion to those games. And I think, it's super fun. I haven't played in one yet because I've been injured, but I'm really excited to. I think it'll be great.
Okay, what was your one back home for playing for the Mavs?
Probably as a junior, Sturt. I think Sturt was our biggest rival for sure. Especially, I think we had friends playing there, and it was kind of like they were very good every year. So it was just very like nice to beat them, I think.
Okay. Now let's finish off a couple of hard questions about your teammates there. Firstly, who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
Okay, so our comedian is definitely Alyssa Marin. She's our point guard. And she's a cracker. I've almost never met someone who is just constantly the funniest person in the room. It's great. She's really just brings energy and hilarious. Best singer. I don't know. I would say we're all pretty average singers, but and I've heard everyone. But one of my sophomores, one of the girls who's also a sophomore with me, I've probably heard her sing a little bit more. Her name's Kanani. And I would say that she's the best singer. She's got a nice tune to her. And our best dancer, I would say Skylar Burke. If you can picture American dancing, like very
Yes.
hip hop style, that's kind of her thing and something that I could never, ever do, but she seems to be able to just go with it. So I like that.
Now, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
No, I don't actually. I mean, I've never really been into the superstitions or things. I think I'm a little bit more relaxed pre-game. I do like to be at games really early. Um, definitely at home NBL when I be at games 3 hours early getting ready. I like to be ready. But here in college we have pre-game shoot arounds and things like that, which kind of messed with my ritual, I guess you would say, pre-game ritual. But yeah, I don't have anything crazy like socks or on the right foot or something.
How's the Aussie accent going over there?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of Aussies over here, but people love it. I go shopping at the store and people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're Australian. Can you speak for me?" It's great. It's so fun. I love it.
Okay, so how's your American accent going, Liv?
It's pretty average. I do get made fun of a lot. I try it sometimes. I try to pull out the American accent, but yeah, it stays away, I think.
Yeah. Now, have you convinced any of your teammates to come down here?
Yeah, I think so. I think I try and push it a little bit. I'm like, Australia is a great place to play after college. If you want to come over, we have some great little leagues. You can stay with me, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of them, it's a big step for them to move countries. I think that's what's great about Australians coming to college. Then it's easier for us to play pro because we've already been away from home for so long. I think for them, they struggle a little bit just because they're in their own country still. So might take a little bit more convincing, but I think Australia's got some good places, so
Yes.
hopefully.
So the first part is, and obviously you don't want to single out any of your teammates, but is there one particular teammate who've learned a little bit more than the others?
My teammate last year, she's just transferred to Oregon. Her name's Alexis Whitfield. She's just an amazing player, and I think watching her and learning from her, obviously I got to sit on the sidelines for a while, so just being able to see how she plays, and I think she's like a four, and just like me watching her and thinking about how I could replicate that. And I think that's probably who I've learned from the most. She's just an excellent player. It's a shame we've lost her to Oregon, but she's onto big things and she's great. So yeah, I loved watching her last year.
Okay, and then the second part of that question for girls out there or anyone out there, I guess, who are thinking about going to college, and obviously you've now been over there for 2 seasons. Well, sorry, going into your second season.
Mhm.
What would be your advice then? What's the one thing that you would say for all the girls here back home?
I would say start preparing early. Like really think about it early and kind of like talk to people early, reach out, collect film, like highlights and things like that, and game film. Yeah, and honestly, I would recommend talking to someone like ATC Academy or something like that. Even just talking to them, you don't have to like sign with them, but even just having like an initial conversation, I feel like things like that can really help your understanding of college because it's just different. Or even asking like if you know someone who plays college, just reaching out to them, DMing them, people are always happy to, answer questions and help.
Liv, thank you so much for getting up some of your time to join us. Obviously, we can't wait to see you back on the court once the non-conference play gets underway in early November. Of course, we're hopefully to be over there ourselves in during that time, and can't wait to see where this team goes, especially with the whole new coaching staff as well, and hopefully seeing you back on the court as well. So best of luck,
Thank
and
you for
can't
having
wait to
me.
yeah, no worries, and can't wait to see how it all pans out in the 24-25 season.
Hopefully a championship. Thank you so much.
No worries, and that's Olivia Bradley there, joins from the UC Santa Barbara women's basketball team. And of course, we'll put the details up on the schedule where you can watch it. Of course, all most of their games are on ESPN Plus to watch their games from back here at home. There's more on the Smashboard show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.